Oh man. So me personally, I've waited intentionally because I know everybody was speaking on it. You know, um, there's a couple things I want to touch on, but I'm on my way to work right now, walking in the dark. You probably can't even see me that good. Probably can't see me at all. I don't even see myself in the camera, but um, let me just say this, man. First off, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Now, I'm not gonna be one of these people that come on here and fake like I've been a fan of Nipsey like that. Um, the way I operate when it comes to artists that I may have never heard before is that I'm only going to hear your songs one or two ways. One, by completely accident or by chance, I just come across it at random. Or two, I feel your energy or what you're doing outside of music that makes me want to go and check your music out. And that was the case for Nipsey Hussle. Now, originally, I thought that, I wouldn't be able to, like, originally when I made this video, I was thinking about, have I ever heard any Nipsey Hussle songs prior to his death? Well, his assassination, let's just call it what it is. And I couldn't think of anything. So when I originally was going to make the video, I was going to say, oh, I never heard of, I couldn't name one Nipsey Hussle song, but actually it was on, I think it was on one of his mixtapes. I think Bullets Ain't Got No Names Volume 3, and there was a song called We Gang Bangin'. That was like the first song I heard, and I actually checked it when it came out. This was back in like 2010, and I just so happened to just come across the song, and ever since then I never checked for a Nipsey Hussle song like that, because around that time I was catching wind of him doing interviews on what they call StreetTV.com, but at the time it was called StreetGangs.com. He had an interview on there. I think this is around the time he was making South Central State of Mind. That's what he said, the album he was working on. But yeah, that. And, when it comes to Nipsey Hussle, I really can't name any other song outside of that. But I always paid attention to what he was doing outside of his music. So I wouldn't say I was a fan of his music like that as an artist, but I did respect his hustle. You know what I mean? Any power move that he made, I always paid attention to it. Like, when presumably him and Laura London hooked up, I feel like, I remember the interview where he said he wanted Laura London. He was, I think he was sitting down with like Snoop Dogg or somebody, and he mentioned that, and he got her, man. That's a power move. You know what I mean? When he sold Crenshaw for like, $100 a pop, I was paying attention to that. That dude making moves. When he bought that strip mall, and he finally started doing things with it, you know what I mean? I was paying attention to things like that. I wasn't paying attention to his music. Because music these days is just a catalyst to get your name out there, to get you to network, basically. And not saying that the dude had whack music, because unfortunately, I heard his songs, a few of his songs like Sucker Proof and Questions and shit like that. Maybe some of y'all can recommend some other songs to me, but those are the ones that I personally heard. And it was some nice music. But let me just say this, man. And this is about respect at the end of the day. Of course, I'm going to talk about the little Kodak Black situation. But let me get into this first, right? I'm from the 90s, man. So I grew up under a different set of rules that I guess people are used to following. And if you real at the end of the day, then you know that these rules were put in place to maintain respect at all times. Like, it was there to maintain respect, and those rules were under no circumstances were meant to be broken. Now, even though from place to place the rules may vary, but at the end of the day, it all leads to the same conclusion, which is respect yourself first, as a man, as a woman, as a person, and then give respect to others, and in return, that respect should get sent back to you. You know what I mean? To the dude, I'm glad they caught him, which is another reason why I waited. because I wanted to see if this was going to be another cold case or if they was actually going to catch the guy that did the killing. The rules that I came up on, right, and this is why it's so surreal to be saying rest in peace Nipsey, because I'm still waiting on a phone call or some type of news. The way I feel about it, I'm still waiting on like a phone call or some type of news report to say that he recovered from his gunshot wounds tomorrow or something like that. Like, that's just how eerie, this is how unreal him dying feels. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's a heavy situation, bro. But here's what I wanted to say. The rules that I grew up under is that, you know, you're not supposed to kill a dude like Nipsey. At all, under no circumstance. A dude, like it's like Steve Harvey said, you know what this dude would have been at 50 years old? He was 33. You know this dude would have been at 40, you know what I mean? And something, it's like, when you have no respect in yourself, or when you're not aware of the God in you, you end up doing stuff like this. And because of that, it affects more people than you even care to realize. Like, the rules that I grew up is like this, right? I grew up under is like this. If me and you are beefing with each other, and it's to the point where I feel like I have to kill you, then, and if you're not doing anything bigger or anything like that, or anything major, then I can just take you out, you know? Just take you out. It's no debating on that, because you considered like a peon. You're not really doing anything on a major level like that, you know? But if I'm beefing with you, and it's to the point where I feel like I have to kill you, but you out here doing things on the level that Nipsey Hussle was doing it on, I have to leave you alone, because it's bigger than you and me. You know, I have this philosophy called the timeline of life, right? And in this philosophy, I won't get into like the deep details of it. But basically what it is that when you kill somebody, you're not just killing off that one person. It's a domino effect. I wish I had a pencil and paper, but just close your eyes and imagine, like, you know, like this character, right? Let's put Nipsey Hussle in that place of that character, right? And let's just draw a line from his body all the way to the other side of the page, right? Now, on that line, you can put like little X's all over, like as many X's as you want, right? Those X's represent all the people that Nipsey Hussle would have helped had he still been here. You know, his presence would have done a lot for those people, as well as what he was doing with the Marathon store, hiring people that got out of jail that probably wouldn't never got a job because of their records and things like that, trying to do better, but they couldn't because of their records, and people not wanting to give them a chance. And you know what I'm saying, instead of looking at them as humans that's trying to make a better life for themselves or try to change for the better, they're looking at them as like ex-cons that don't deserve a second. You know what I mean? Like, Nipsey was giving people like that a chance to get their lives right. You know what I mean? And when you kill somebody like that off, that was rebuilding his community, doing everything that we teach black men to do in the hood, it's a domino effect, because not only did you kill him, but you killed off all those people that he would have potentially helped. So you're responsible for all those. When you take his life, you're taking out all those lives. That's the reason why I said you're not supposed to kill a dude like Nipsey, because now you're responsible for a bigger burden. You know what I mean? There's more blood on your hands than you understand. I remember OYG Red Rum 871, for those of you who know, he's from Avenue Pyru. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I know for a fact he a Pyru, I'm just not exactly sure what's set. I remember him having a a video. I don't know if it was on his YouTube channel or what, but he mentioned how hip hop or like music saved his life. Where he was just out and about one day. I think he said he had his family with him, you know, and somebody had basically came up to kill him, right? And this was during the time I guess you would say he was. This is like sometime after like the Banging on Wax album, if I'm not mistaken, or sometime after that. And the guy that was getting ready to kill Red Rum basically approached him and said, if you wasn't out here doing this music and doing all these moves, making these power moves, basically, I would have killed you right there on the spot. That lets you know that he understood that it was something bigger than him and Red Rum or whatever his little personal problem he had with Red Rum at that time. It was bigger than him. He understood that a dude like Red Rum needs to live because he has a bigger impact than a lot of other people in his same position because of what he was doing. And that's the same thing with Nipsey Hussle. That's why you don't kill a dude like Nipsey Hussle. He got too much going on, and he's helping too many people for your selfish little squabble. And a lot of people, they have their little thoughts and ideas on the situation as far as like, who they feel is responsible. Some people say the government is involved. In a sense, you're right. Maybe not in the way that you think, but in a sense, you're right. The government is involved because the guy, he was an FBI informant. The FBI is connected to the government, of course. So when you look at it like that, yeah, the government did have something to do with killing Nipsey. The government did have something to do with killing Nipsey. But as far as I think people having like a secret meeting and like specifically pinpointing Nipsey to be a target or something, I'm not saying that it's I'm not saying that it's uncommon, but it doesn't happen as often as we think, only because the people like Nipsey, like they only come once every few generations. Like when you think about that, like I think Daylight was talking about this on his Instagram, where you only get people like Nipsey Hussle once every few generations. I mean, when Nipsey died, bro, you know what type of shockwave that sent through LA, or throughout the world for that matter. This dude, like anybody who understands gangs and the gangs in Los Angeles and like, you know what I mean? It's like, this dude, they was doing a Nipsey Hussle memorial march. It was a peace march down there in LA. And what makes it so crazy is that this dude, his death was so impactful. This guy had relatives and family members that didn't see each other for so many years because of the gang politics and a divide down there between the gangs. I mean, this to understand what it is I'm talking about. Anybody who understands what I mean, they understand it. This dude had Hoovers, 60s, and 8-Tray gangsters as well as like, various Bloods, Crips, and Pyru sets down there marching together for peace. You know how, I think that Daylight put it like, imagine seeing the entire Justice League in Avengers Endgame. Like, imagine if they just took the entire Justice League, Batman, Superman, Flash, Martian Manhunter, etc., and they put them all in Endgame, in Avengers Endgame. That's how spectacular and awe-inspiring this dude was. Now, that just speaks volumes on how important Nipsey was to that community and how much he's going to be missed. To the point where you got people who, under normal circumstances, wouldn't even allow themselves to be around other gang members from certain sets. Like, you would never, before Nipsey died, you probably would have never seen a Hoover in the neighborhood getting along. Never. To have a Hoover walking through Slauson like that, like without feeling like he needed to have a gun on him or something like that, That's, dude, that is big. An 8 tray gangster walking through a rolling 60 neighbor. Come on, bro. That is big. You gotta give credit where credit is due, man. Resting, like, again, to me, his death is so surreal that I don't want to believe it. It's a piece of me that is never going to be able to accept that that dude is dead. Maybe because his spirit lives on, obviously, but him dying, like I said, it feels so unreal. I'm expecting to wake up tomorrow to get a message or like some type of news report that he recovered from his gunshot wounds and he on his way home. That's just how unbelievable him dying is because of those rules that I did mention. It's like, because those rules under no circumstance are supposed to be broken. And the thing is, when you have people that break the rules like that, it sends a shockwave to other people that may have that may want to break the rules. It gives them more, I guess you could say, more motivation to do it when they see one person do it. It's kind of like when everybody in the classroom is basically just told to be quiet by the teacher, and then you got that one knucklehead that just want to, you know what I'm saying, like disobey the teacher rules and just, you know, make a bunch of noise, and then another person makes the noise, and everybody, you know what I mean? I see the domino effect that this can happen. Another thing, anybody who aspires to do what Nipsey Hussle did as far as being involved in their community, don't let this discourage you. If anything, this should strengthen your resolve. Because anytime somebody does anything major, like what Nipsey Hussle was doing, it's been people that have done things on a bigger scale than Nipsey in the past, and they still took them out. You know what I mean? But you got to understand that the message is bigger than the person. You feel me? And Nipsey's message clearly was heard, man. He was trying to rebuild his community, and you know, some good came out of his death. When you seen again the 8 tray gangsters and the Hoovers and the Pyrus and the neighborhoods and all these gangs that wouldn't even possibly mingle together at any given time. When you see them come together for Nipsey, that's powerful, man. That is powerful. I even heard they had like Apache helicopters, like war um, machines, basically, in the sky, just seeing what was going on with the march. It's just crazy, man. That's because a dude like Nipsey just wasn't supposed to go out like that. And let me get to this Kodak Black shit, right? This goes back to what I was saying about respect and having respect for yourself, because when you can say some things that Kodak Black said, like, mind you, Nipsey Hussle is a well-respected individual. Possibly even more so now that he's gone. People value him more. And it's just, you know, they feel like they got to protect Laura London now because they feel like, you know, now that Nipsey's gone, he's not able to protect people the way he would have protected them. They got to step up and they got to protect his name and respect and keep his legacy going. And that means protecting Laura London under any given circumstance. That's just how much love they got for Nipsey. You understand? So, with that being said, Kodak Black made some comments about how he was trying to basically get at Laura London, talking about he gonna give her a year to cry over Nipsey, and then he gonna basically trying to take his shot or some weirdo shit like that. Look, bro, the responses that I seen from Tank, from Game, from Gilly the Kid, from, you know what I'm saying, as well as many other individuals like BG Knockout, etc., etc. For those of you who know who those people are, because I know some of y'all live under a rock, are very much warranted. You know, to a lesser extent, maybe these guys seen the disrespectful things that they were doing as a kid, and they see that in Kodak Black, and then maybe they're fussing at themselves a little bit, like their past selves. But at the end of the day, man, a dude like Kodak Black, come on, bro, there has to be something in you that says, okay, maybe this ain't the best thing to do. You know, you would think you have some OGs around you that cared about you enough to not let you say anything like that at all, let alone on Instagram Live. Somebody should have stopped you. If they cared for you, somebody should have stopped you and said, you know, maybe, you know, you need to chill. Somebody should have yoked him up by his collar at that moment and just stopped him from going any, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how the respect factor is like damn near gone from this generation, bro. and I say this generation because Kodak Black, he may have been the one, like he made me maybe the face of people doing that right now. But it's been people that did similar things from his generation in the past, just little fuck shit, and it's just like, dude, you gotta respect like yourself first. You can't be a self-respecting individual when you're doing some things like that, because you wouldn't have been saying all that stuff had Nipsey been here. You know what I mean? So basically what he needs to do is he needs to get on a video, apologize, say, you know what, I'm just a young dumb nigga, you know what I'm saying? I said some things that I shouldn't have said. It was out of pocket, man. I was wrong at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Laura London, keep your head up. I didn't mean anything like that. Just a young dumb nigga saying young dumb nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? I need to, what I'm saying, basically just respect it and not say nothing like that again, Especially if I don't mean it or if I'm just joking around. The man just died, It was a tasteless thing, a tasteless act, and, just as a man, I apologize first, you know what I'm saying? I just hope that, y'all accept my apology, and going forward, I'm going to be more careful in what I say, man, because I didn't mean no harm. Like, if he got on live and he said some things like that, you know what I'm saying, people would, they'll accept it and they'll just back off of him. But right now they on his head, and the thing that made it even bad is that when you seen dudes like T.I. say what he said to Kodak Black about, you need to check yourself about that. And then he commented underneath under the video that T.I. made, and he said, like, for what? Or what? You know what I mean? Like, what you mean, or what? Dude, you should be willing to say that regardless, You should be willing to apologize on your own or what? Don't be tough, man. Like, this ain't be a tough guy moment. This is for you to be a man, stand up, and apologize for what you said. Because, this dude just died. He don't need, you know what I'm saying? Come on. But that's it, man. So, that's my opinions on it, man. At the end of the day, man, just respect yourself. If you're going to aspire to do things on the level of Nipsey Hussle, man, don't let what happened to him discourage you. You know what I'm saying? Let that motivate you, if anything, to protect yourself, even in your own home, because you don't know who. I know a lot of people got like these conspiracies and all that. And anytime there's like a big mystery around somebody who's admired, people often, they start questioning whether or not, if the government was involved or Illuminati or something like that. And sometimes the mystery is so big, people can't see that the answer is so simple. Sometimes it's just as simple as somebody just not liking you. Or somebody, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it's just as simple as a dude just hating on you. So sometimes the answer is just that simple. And unfortunately, for him, it was just a dude that, possibly was just jealous of him. Or maybe somebody paid, to get that here. I mean, I just don't understand. Even if somebody paid me to do something like that, maybe that's just me. Even if somebody paid me to do something like that to Nip, I personally couldn't do anything like that because I have, some type of, morals in me that makes me say, you know what, I can't do that. That dude needs to live, I wouldn't agree to it, but that's just me though. So, thank you guys for listening to me ramble. Man, rest in peace, Nip. This is stupid. So, whoever comes up after Nipsey, whoever's that next guy after Nip, I just hope that, you take more precautions, even in your own backyard. So, that's it, man.